Because I wanted nothing to do with the church.
Okay.
When I was in the gay lifestyle, the church kind of more stood away from anyone who is LGBTQ.
Yeah.
And mind you, I came out of the lifestyle almost 21 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So when I was in it, it was taboo. We don't talk about this stuff. We don't associate with those kind of
Very
people.
true. Yeah.
And growing up in the church and Christian schools, coming out as gay, the church was almost terrible to that community. And when God called me back, I just was like, I'm God's, I'm yours again, but I wanted nothing to do with the church.
It's really interesting you say that because, okay, so did you grow up in a faith-based home?
I did.
Would you say it was more faith or religion?
Faith.
Okay.
We've never been religious. We've had a relationship.
Okay.
I've had a relationship with God since at least the age of 7.
Okay. Because I grew up in a very faith-based home, but I've looked back on a lot of it and it felt like more of religion. And now I say this, I love my parents.
Yeah.
Looking back though, I could see how it wasn't mine yet. And I was just doing it because I was told to. And it's like, well, if you don't believe this, you're going to be punished. And I always felt like God was this man on a throne waiting to punish you.
Sure.
And take you down. And I also remember a lot of family members, someone's homosexual or, they're not believing, like, especially homosexual, right? Stay away.
Oh, yeah.
Don't touch them.
Yep.
You touch them,
you might get AIDS.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to get you, you know?
And I didn't understand it because, I'll just tell you right now, I'm definitely a prodigal son.
Sure.
I don't know if you talk with John a little bit. I really opened up to John when we worked together, but I definitely walked away from my faith for a long time. Long time.
When you say faith, because I know Ali's got a Muslim background. I don't think he's Muslim, but it comes from that type of a background. When you say faith, are you Catholic, Christian?
No, I grew up Christian. I would say non-denominational. I grew up in Calvary Chapel for a while.
Sure.
And then we went Pentecostal, which was like
Calvary Chapel is a denomination, although they say they're not. But just for the record,
but they it was Life Center Church, AG.
Okay.
I always call
Assemblies of God.
Yeah, Assemblies of God. I always call them the pew hoppers, snake shakers, baby. It's a good time on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But I would say I think I did it just because I was told to.
Sure.
Didn't really make it my own, and I used to actually do worship, right? Music. I did that for a long time. I thought I was gonna be a worship leader, but I went down the firefighter path just because I want to take care of myself financially here. It's like, but I walked away. And that was me. And I made a lot of bad decisions in those times.
Sure.
And, I remember growing up and thinking, I remember learning about Jesus and how he's on the earth and how he loved everybody. You read it through the Gospels, man. And he accepted everyone and he met them where they're at. And I remember coming back to my faith. But even outside of that, when I was doing my own thing, some of my good friends were homosexual.
Yeah.
And I had great times with them. And I'm just saying great times like having
gay
dinner.
dudes are really fun. Let me just
I'll tell you what, they can party, bro.
Yeah. I know what I'm talking about. Yes. Yeah. In my book, I talk about, what? Sin's fun.
Oh, yeah?
Sin is a blast.
But you will pay for your consequences, man, your choices.
But you know what? It's fun. That's the allure. And the party, and you can party and all this, it also is destructive. It'll kill you in the long run.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, I had a friend on here who I grew up with, and he's gay, homosexual, he still is.
Yeah.
And we talked about the struggle he had and how, we're taught to be Christian, accept everyone, but the Christians treated me the worst. I never understood that. And I still have family members, I love them, that they won't come to certain Christmas parties or events because there's a gay cousin who's going to be there. And it really burns me. Sure. And I'm like, that is not how we're supposed to act. Yeah. I don't agree with that.
Sure.
Hate the sin, love the sinner.
Well, let me share this with you. I hate that phrase you just said. Mm-hmm. Because someone who identifies as gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, they can't separate the sin from the sinner. Because that's how they perceive themselves. That's their identity. And when they hear Christians say that, they think you hate them. So I don't like that phrase. It's probably more harmful than it is good.
Yeah.
It's sometimes a lot of times in Christianity, we have these little trite phrases and it's probably more damaging than good.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because times
they can't separate their sexuality from who they are. And all they hear is you hate them.
Right. Well, for me, it's like, I don't care where people come from, what they do, who they love, who they worship.
Sure.
All I know is for me and what I believe in my faith is I'm going to love you.
Yep.
I'm going to accept you.
Yep.
Do you need something? Like, are you okay? That's where I always come from. And I always see such a struggle for a lot of people.